I felt like that money that they gave to Saquon could probably be served elsewhere, like the defense. Well, then they went out and got Devin White, so that kind of made me eat my words. A big
They
pickup for
they
them, I feel
struggled at
like.
linebacker last year.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be a huge addition for them. Devin White's obviously a super respected middle linebacker across the league, and he's got success down in Tampa Bay. Welcome back to the most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube. Welcome back to Super Chair Sports. I'm your host, Zach Circle Mark Berkeley, here on the coast today's Aaron and Joe. Go and say hi, guys.
Hi. If you like our content, be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment and let us know.
Yes, we are right around the 50 subscriber mark, so your subscription means a lot to get us over that hump. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So, in this video, we'll be taking a look at the Philadelphia Eagles offseason situation. A lot of moves happening over in Philly right before WrestleMania comes to town, so good for them for hosting that. What are your thoughts on the Philadelphia Eagles, just overall improvement, if you want to call it that, this offseason? Bringing in guys like Saquon Barkley, recently signing Devin White, bringing back C.J. Gardner-Johnson. However, they did lose a couple pieces in Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox, as well as releasing Kevin Byard. What are your opinions on the Philadelphia Eagles? One traded for Kenny Pickett.
Oh, that's the big one.
That's the huge one.
Got their new starting quarterback.
Jalen Hurts out, Kenny Pickett in.
No.
Thanks for the third rounder, Philly.
I'm not really sure. I mean, obviously Saquon is like a step above most backs, but
Right.
DeAndre Swift, he was considered a really solid back kind of going into Philly, and then they didn't really have the season they expected with him. So then they let him go, and they bring in who everybody can kind of agree is definitely an upgrade.
Oh, for sure.
But you're losing a couple big pieces on your O line, so they've got some holes to fill if they want that run game to kind of be what it was 2 years ago. I think it's a great pickup. He's good at running and catching out of the backfield. That read option game is going to be absolutely nasty, as is the tush push with Saquon and
He's got
Hurts
the
both being
he's
able to
got the
squat 600
Saquads.
plus
Yeah,
pounds.
them
Yeah,
Saquads.
so he's going to get quite the push from behind. Uh, Granted, they're going to need to find a center as good as Jason Kelce is at getting low and kind of winning that game in the trenches if they want to continue that tush push or brotherly shove success, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, apparently the NFL is not going to outlaw it. I mean, we haven't heard anything about it at least. So,
They shouldn't. That's a
no,
stupid. It,
I
just because
agree.
they want to ban something because it works.
Yeah,
Stupid.
yeah. No, I mean, I don't know how well it's going to work now that Jason Kelsey's gone, though, because he was a big reason that was as successful as it was. So maybe that's another reason they brought in Saquon, like you mentioned, is to get that extra push from behind, since they're not going to have to push up front. So
I mean, nobody cared about it when the Patriots did it. I mean, Tom Brady was successful at the QB sneak
well, that's
for
because Tom Brady and
a
Roger
decade
Goodell have a very
plus.
special relationship that we're not allowed to criticize.
Right, but that's not where the band's coming from. The band's coming from the fans,
No, yeah.
wanting to ban the play. And of all people, Tom Brady's probably up there as one of the most hated guys in the NFL,
As far as the collective
or I
NFL
guess NFL
fan base,
history.
Pound
yes.
yard rusher right there,
Yeah.
boy.
They kind of made me eat my words from, I think it was 2 weeks ago or something like that, maybe last week. Whereas I talked about how I felt like that money that they gave to Saquon could probably be served elsewhere, like the defense. Well, then they went out and got Devin White, so that kind of made me eat my words. A big pickup for
They
them, I feel
struggled at
like.
linebacker last year.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be a huge addition for them. Devin White's obviously a super respected middle linebacker across the league, and he's got success down in Tampa Bay. Granted, is next to another great middle linebacker in Levante David, so we'll have to see how he adjusts to being really the one true middle linebacker and not part of a dynamic duo like he's been for so many years. Because I'm pretty sure Philadelphia runs a 4-3 defense, not a 3-4. So he's going to be kind of back there on his own, which is going to be different for him. Joe, how do you kind of feel Devin White could impact the Philadelphia defense this next year?
I like Devin White still. Like I think people have been down on him since the Super Bowl. I think you got to give a lot of credit to Levante David. Those are the two that played next to each other. Like we just talked about it with the Steelers, how getting Patrick Queen's a big deal, but he doesn't have Roquan Smith next to
Mm-hmm.
him. Like it's a big deal when you have two of those guys. Don't forget in Tampa, he had Vita Vea with that.
Ah, that's a
You
good
had like a
point.
triangle with Vita Vea, Levante David, and him. Of
Yeah.
course, any linebacker in that situation is gonna run as free as they want. So I think it's a great move. I mean, he flies. He can go sideline to sideline, and so you're gonna need that from him. Losing a guy like Fletcher Cox is gonna hurt a lot, I think, but I think that means they're putting a lot of faith in Daniels and is it Jordan Davis from both from Georgia,
Mhm.
interior guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are gonna be their starting two guys, and so I think if those two are playing as well as as high, you drafted them high for a reason. If they play like they're supposed to, I see Devin White just absolutely thriving in this defense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. They kind of addressed the secondary as well, bringing back C.J. Gardner-Johnson, one of the best shit talkers in the game. So kind of gonna fit right back in Philadelphia. I feel like. Really liked him in Detroit though. I feel like he fit that culture really well. So, but he can bring some some attitude back to that Philadelphia defense I kind of feel was lacking last season, specifically in the secondary. Maybe serve as kind of like a Tyrann Mathieu role back there at the safety spot where he's kind of like the heart and soul of the defense. I could see him and Devin White potentially kind of taking over those roles with Fletcher Cox out the door now. So Aaron, what do you think what do you think of the changes that the Eagles made on the defensive side this offseason?
They're good. The Devin White pickup that's really big. You know, I think they still need to probably look cornerback in the draft, and maybe another linebacker. Granted, with how the draft's been going for them this last couple of years, some stud D tackle or linebacker, some just stud defensive personnel is going to follow them, and they're just going to get an absolute steal. So congratulations to the Eagles for picking up an absolute stud on the defensive side of the ball in the first round.
Yeah, somehow another one falls to them late in the first, as per usual for those NFC powerhouses in Philadelphia and San Francisco. Joe, what do you think? Is there any other improvements you can see the Eagles making from an offensive standpoint?
They need to ensure that whole lineup. Losing Jason Kelsey, like you're losing a Hall of Fame center who isn't just like walking out and he was like on the downhill. Like yes,
No.
he's
Yeah.
not as great as he might have been or as fast. Like you can still argue that he's the best center in football right now. And so like you're not just losing him because he was slowing down. He's calling it on his own time. Which first off, congrats to him. Big, great career. But you gotta get a center, like, and you have to ensure because their O line still struggled last year. Like people forget 2 years ago, the one that was the team that was in the Super Bowl. 3 out of those 5, I think, were gone after that. It was pretty much Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
So you lost the experience. Lane Johnson's a great keep, obviously, but losing Jason Kelsey, who was the guy on that offense when it came to leadership. Jalen Hurts is the leader. He's the quarterback, but everyone like it all starts up front, and so they're gonna have to figure out some way to fix that missing piece or find that missing piece, I should say, because that's a lot of just intelligence that you're losing. That's a lot of leadership you're losing. That's a lot of performance that you're losing. Like it's Saquon's good. You have weapons. They could add more receivers if you really want to get down to like skills. They could use another, just maybe one receiver or maybe another tight end other than Goddard. Just
Yeah.
one more weapon on the outside, I think, would be a little more helpful for them.
Unless y'all got anything else, this has been most unprofessional sports channel on YouTube, Swivel Chair Sports. I've been your host, Zach Zuckerberg Merkel. Here at the coast today, Aaron and Joe. Go ahead and say bye, guys.
Uh,
All right, please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Other than that, Deuces.